The first one was which
The
one?
land of the upright men.
Yes, Burkina
Faso.
Yes. Yesterday we had a story about Jerry Rollins,
Junior Jesus.
Junior Jesus.
Yes.
Today is give me Ali Boumaye.
You want Ali Boumaye? Ali Boumaye?
So that they can wait for
Obasanjo.
Obasanjo.
Okay.
We can keep that one.
Right. So in the 60s, during the Vietnam War, and America was sending troops to Vietnam to fight their war there, Muhammad Ali did something that would forever change his future.
Okay.
And Americans were being drafted, almost being forced to go into war. He said, "I'm not going to Vietnam."
Okay.
He said, and I said turbulent 60s, right? He says in the press conference, he said, "No Viet Cong ever called me a nigger."
Okay.
Because there was so much racism in America then. He says, "I'm going to fight those guys. Those guys don't hate me. Why should I fight them?"
The people who hate me are here with me.
Correct. One thing led to another. Corti, Nini, they stripped him. That time he was a world heavyweight champion of the world in boxing. They stripped him of that medal and the belt, Kila Kitu. In and out of court, in and out of court. He couldn't fight in any state in America. Banned. World heavyweight champion. So, of course, he couldn't make money. He was in trouble. It was really going bad. I think 5 years later, the Supreme Court overturned the ruling, gave him back his belt, gave him back his title, let him fight again. That's when he went on to fight Joe Frazier and a whole bunch of others, right? And then, fast forward, 1974.
Okay.
He had already lost his belt, I think, twice then, right? And now he was going to fight the person who was the world champion in boxing, George Foreman, who had beaten Joe Frazier before to become the champion. They said, let's have it in Kinshasa. Why Kinshasa? Oh, Don King then. Remember Don King, the guy with the big hair and Uyo? He was the promoter even back in 74. He said, let's take it to Kinshasa. Let's take it to Zaire. That's what it was called then. There's a president called Mobutu Sese Seko Kukubendu wa Zabanga, who will give you $6 million to fight in Zaire. And those days, 6 meter was a lot of money. 6 million US. They all flew in. James Brown was performing. James Brown, you know James Brown, the legendary? He was going to perform in Kinshasa before the fight. Everybody flew in. That's when he was training in the streets. He wanted to know what Kinshasa was like. He was training in the streets. And of course, people had heard of him. And they started saying in the streets, Ali
Boumaye.
Ali
Boumaye. What Sauti Sol sings?
Yes, which means Ali, kill him.
Aye.
Ali, kill him. Because they loved Ali, the Baba.
Ali.
Boumaye.
Ali.
Boumaye.
Ali.
Boumaye. Right? So, 2 weeks before the fight,
Okay.
George Foreman hurts his arm.
Eh.
And they're about to call off the fight. And Ali, in his grandeur, he called the press conference. He says, guys, George Foreman is scared of fighting me today. He's on his way to the airport. I want you, President Mobutu, stop him at the airport. Don't let him leave. Take his passport. He's chickening out. He doesn't want to fight me.
What?
Press conference. Man. George Foreman turned around like someone, you know what? Twende kazi.
All right.
Let's do this. But they delayed the fight another couple of weeks and they fought. And the rest, as they say,
is history.
Ali knocked him down, I think, in the 15th round.
Yes.
Right? And he became the heavyweight champion of the world for the third time.
Ali?
Boumaye. So now, I'm in Kinshasa.
All right. Okay.
And I decided, this was about maybe 10 years ago.
So this is you now in Kinshasa now.
Kinshasa. The country has been renamed from Zaire to Democratic Republic of Congo.
Okay.
DRC. And I insist I want to go to that stadium where Ali fought Foreman. And they took me in Jas. It was very disappointing. Dilapidated, all broken down, tiles, paint is off the wall. Terrible stadium. It was just, I was so disappointed that, they couldn't maintain and retain, because that would have been a great tourist attraction.
That's true.
Every African American would have wanted to come to Africa or to Kinshasa to see where Ali fought George Foreman. Sad tale.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a story
A day.
right here on Hot 96.
The Hot Breakfast with Jeff and Jelano.